I turned 40 in September. I'm an older mom, good times. But I'm a pretty serious advocate for my health. I'm always like doing the things we're supposed to do, seeing the doctors we're supposed to see, et cetera, et cetera. Immediately after my 40th birthday, when I knew insurance would cover it, I went and got my very first mammogram.
Mm.
I had so much anxiety about it. I really was like losing sleep. I was really, just like having like your full-blown anxiety about it, like couldn't concentrate. I have this baby and a toddler, and I just, it's really not to bring down the mood, but I think all moms can relate to this. All of a sudden, the stakes are just so much higher.
Yes.
And it's so easy to want to put off these appointments because what if there's bad news? And what does that mean for our family and these little babies? And I just urge you to use it as motivation to take care of yourself and to be really proactive. My mammogram came back with no abnormalities. However, they did say I have extremely dense breasts. And if you have extremely dense breasts and no family history of breast cancer, a lot of times they're going to tell you, don't worry about it, come back next year. But lately there have been people like Olivia Munn who had no abnormalities but extremely dense breasts, and turns out there was cancer hiding and they just couldn't see it in the mammogram. So, the new thing that I really just want to talk about is advocating for more screening. So if you come back and you have extremely dense breasts and they say, don't worry about it, go to your doctor and advocate for an ultrasound or an MRI. Just talk about what else you can do because it's important. And I did that. And I had an MRI on Saturday, very early in the morning. Again, a lot of anxiety. MRIs are not fun. I haven't gotten my results. My doctor said, you know, no things, we don't, it was voluntary. Like doing
Right.
it was voluntary. It was me saying, I want to get a good baseline. I want to know what my boobs
Going
look
on.
like, all the things. But I just want to, if you're a woman who's avoiding it, I just want to say, do it so you can sleep at night. You know, all the things. It turns out I do have an elevated risk. We did a risk assessment after my mammogram, and I have an elevated risk of having breast cancer in my lifetime. We're not totally sure why. It could be because I had children later in life, because I started my period really young, um, because I have dense breasts that increase your risk, but it was like a 23.6% chance of getting breast cancer in my lifetime. And the cutoff is 20%. So that's when they say, go get additional screening. If you have dense breasts, they do a risk assessment, it's over 20%. Anyway, I don't have any answers about my MRI. There's nothing to worry about. Like we'll find out how it all went. There's no reason to be concerned. It's just getting my baseline. But I just want to use the opportunity to urge moms to advocate for yourself, listen to your body, do the most so that you can be there for your babies.
Oh, my
Yeah,
heart
I
feels
know.
heavy right now listening to that.
I know. It's weird. It's scary and it's not a fun thing to talk about, but I feel like that is an important thing to talk about.
Yeah.
I know, and it puts me, it's weird. I have peace. I have peace. I feel like everything is going to be just fine, but it is just, I just have I do have a lot of health anxiety. That's like part of what my
Mhm.
postpartum anxiety manifests in like health anxiety. I just want to be around forever. And I know that I won't be, but I want to have a fighting chance of being there to see my kids have kids, to see my kids walk down the aisle. And, I want that for all the moms out there. So I just want to use the platform, the time to say, do the most.
Yeah.
Your doctors are wonderful and educated, but they're also busy and they don't always know everything. So, you know, do what you got to do to be around.
Thank you
Take
for
care of yourself.
sharing that. And
Yeah.
I think that's a really important conversation. And I really related to you saying that you have health anxiety because I also have so much health anxiety. And I wasn't going to talk about this, but like I got my blood work done.
Mhm.
And I think I told you this, like my blood came back abnormal.
Yeah, you said that, and I've been
right?
meaning to ask you about it, but we haven't
Well, I wasn't going
had
to
a
share
moment.
it on here yet until we knew, and it does turn out like I'm okay. I'm gonna be fine, and we're just gonna like recheck in a few months.
Hmm.
But my blood platelets, like I have too many of them, too many
Hmm.
red blood cells, and then they're paler and smaller than they're supposed to be,
Hmm.
which is so interesting. And like all signs point to just like anemia. I shouldn't say
Hmm.
just, but anemia, but then my iron levels are fine. And like
Hmm.
my hematocrit, did I say that right? And hemoglobin and ferritin and all this stuff. I'm learning so much about it. All
Yeah.
came back with a normal range. So then it's like not anemia. So all that to say, yes, go advocate for yourself and check on your levels and your hormones. And if you feel like something is off, speak up for yourself. If your doctor doesn't want to order you labs, go find a new doctor. It's annoying AF, but it's important.
Yeah, and it's so easy to put all of our needs and our health on the back burner because there's just so much going on, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I
it's hard to even get
just
to the doctor, to even like
totally. Oh
call
my
a
God.
doctor.
Yes, it's like
It's
it's a
hard.
whole thing. Like to get the MRI, like I was having anxiety about it, so I was like, am I going to take a Xanax because it's the claustrophobia of it all? It was my first ever MRI,
Did it
getting
hurt, by the way, the
the
mammogram?
mammogram.
Yeah.
Yes, it was weird. One side hurt way more than the other.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not pleasant, but it's also like I've pushed a child out of my vagina. You have literally had 7 layers of muscle ripped through to have a baby. Like in comparison, it's nothing, and it's a snap and it's done.
Yeah.
You know,
But there's
it's not,
it's like
it's
pressure on your boob.
totally, they smush it to oblivion. I mean,
Oh,
and I'm still
ah,
nursing, I'm still breastfeeding. So it's like, you know, we had Dr. Stephanie Redmond on last week, and she's so wonderful and was talking about like how the different hormone levels or the
yeah.
hormones that help release breast milk and like the letdown. I was hyper stressed. So there was no letdown to be had. So no milk came out when they pushed it, shockingly. But the woman who was doing it, the technician, she was like, did you leave any milk on the machine? I was like, shockingly, no. But
Wow.
also another thing is like they say if you're nursing, a lot of doctors will say, let's wait to do your mammogram until you're done. But you don't have to do that. You can pump, 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 or nurse until the second you go in there and then do it. I just didn't want to wait. I felt like let's, you know, do the
Yeah.
things we're supposed to do and, take care of
Well,
ourselves. So
I'm proud of you for
thank
doing
you.
that. And also,
Thanks.
I know that you're going to be just a-okay.
Totally.
And I'm, yeah, grateful that you shared that on
I
here
know.
today.
I
And
was
that's a
gonna
good
wait and
reminder for all
yeah,
of
I
us.
was gonna wait until I got my MRI results, but like I know everything will be fine.
Yeah.
So, I will give an update, but everything will be fine. It was completely just me saying, get me in there so we know exactly going forward
Yeah.
what my boobs look like, what we were working with. But I just, I
Man.
could have just stopped there, but I didn't want to. So anyway,